Hi, guys. It's Linda Marcus Smith, your girl here. You know, the lady that does the comic spot interviews of comedians. Well, today we're taking a little detour. Yep, that's right. See that person in the other square? We'll see. Yep. He's going to be doing the tornado effect, which in essence is taking the crap out of your set. And he's also going to throw in at no extra charge the rule of threes, the effective use of triplet jokes. So I just want you to be at home, relaxed. If you're a comedian or you're thinking about trying comedy, grab a pen and paper right now, come back and sit down. Now, the military, just so you know, doesn't have a don't ask, don't tell policy anymore. But I do. So if you're at home without your clothes on, I'm not asking, and do me a favor, don't tell me. Nice. Right? You know, you guys, he's going to be talking about trimming the fat out of your set. Well, I've been trimming the fat for decades. Yeah. Sometimes it sneaks back. I'm not going to lie. You know, and you know, the pandemic didn't help me one bit. It didn't. They came on the news and they said, it's not safe to travel. All right, fine. You're going to have it that way. I'll stay home. I live in a cinder block apartment. You can see the cinder block. It's like a jail cell. I can see my whole apartment from right here. And everywhere I look, I didn't see food except in my fridge and in my cupboards and in my cat bowls. So I dug in. Can't travel, so I ate everything in the house and sent my hips abroad. They've got their own area code, zip code, and they've got a whole new boyfriend, it seems. I've never met him. That's too far away. Yeah. So, you know, like they came on the news and they said, it's also, you're going to stay home and don't stick your fingers up in your orifices. Remember when they said that, Will?
Yes.
I'm like, Big Brother is watching me. This is cool. And then they loosened up the rules because they shut down all the restaurants. And then they eventually said, okay, you can fill spaces to 50%. And I was like, filling spaces to 50%. I don't think they had anything in mind with my orifices. I think they meant restaurants. I had to think about that one. Yeah, you know, I was in the military in the 70s, and that's a long time ago. I get it. You're like, this doesn't apply to me. It applied to me, you guys. It applied to me. Oh my gosh. Back then, men could say whatever they wanted to us. It was before Glory Allred. You know, we were all red. Yeah. Men in the military would say the same thing to me all the time. They used triplets, Will. Are you in the military because you're a prude? Or are you in because you're a nymphomaniac or a slut? I'm like, one of these is not like the other.
That's funny.
Thank you. I think a nymph and a slut kind of help each other, but the prude totally throws it off. Yeah. The best things do come in threes. If you look back in history, you know, let's see, Abbott and Costello, the Marx Brothers, the different parts of God, you know, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, and some sluts. But nymphomaniacs, they need far more than threes. Yeah, it's true. I'm getting older. I don't know if you guys are out there aging. I think we all are getting older minute by minute, but whatever. I seem to be winning at aging, which is another triplet. I have turned 21 3 times. So the best things do come in threes. You're welcome.
Perfect.
That's enough for me. Thank you guys at home. Anybody here watching on Facebook Live, be sure and grab a pen and paper and then hit us up if you need a copy of this recording. We're going to go ahead and introduce our teacher today. He's from the Veterans of Comedy. He's actually the founder of the Veterans of Comedy. And he's amazeballs. You're going to love this. He's super funny, super funny. He's been around the business. He knows everybody. Let me read his intro. We'll see. With over 26 years in the comedy business, this comic has seen it all and done it all, from bars to arenas and everything in between. So grab a pen or pencil, a notebook, something to snack on and drink, so we can jump on into the tornado effect. Trimming the fat and the rules of three are the key. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see.
Yay! Linda, funny stuff. And before I get started, I just want to say, I like how you took today's kind of topic and just kind of applied it to the rules of three and things like that. And for the people looking out there and listening, that's kind of what I'm talking about. A lot of times in this business, they say, I use the number three and the rules of three a lot. When you get on stage, I was always taught you have 30 seconds. There's that 30 seconds to engage your audience. You need to grasp them quick. What I'm very happy about what you did today, Linda, is like, all right, here's the deal. You talk about, hey, we can't leave Vegas. We can't, we got to do this. Here's the food. Here's the things. You can't travel abroad. It made me laugh because all I could think of when you were talking about having different area codes and you I'm thinking of three things in Vegas and in that surrounding area that make me laugh. So here I'm thinking about that the first casino that I see when I come in from Los Angeles, the one with the roller coaster. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, here's Boulder Station. So now my mind starts going to, all right, Boulder Buns and different, it's like, so I'm thinking, and then I'm like, well, now my other mind's over here. I'm at Nellis, I'm at Creech. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, here's all these things, these different areas of Vegas. And it's like, her ass has expanded all three of them. It's like that. So it's like, but you understand what I'm saying? So it's, I want everybody to seriously, if you are at home right now and you're watching, I want you to grab a piece of paper, a pen, because I want you guys to take notes on what I feel, and this is my opinion and the way that I was taught coming up in comedy. I call it the tornado effect, and I want you guys to seriously, if you have your pen and paper, I just want you to draw a tornado from the big top right down to the tip. And I want you to think about how you tell your jokes. Linda and I were kind of talking just a little bit. Thank you, Linda. Before we came live, when we first start off in comedy, we get that notebook out, we get those, the cards out, or I'm so old that I came up with the big tape recorder. I don't know. I mean, that's how long I've been in this business. And you would literally tell your joke or you'd write it down word for word. And Linda and I were kind of discussing that. It's like, so if I had a bar, a man walks in the bar, in my mind, I'm writing, so there I was. I walked into the bar of 39th Street in Maine, and Joe, the bartender, was taking IDs at the door. And I'm writing all this out because that's how, in my mind, that's how this all went down. But as a comic, does the audience want to hear that? No. You literally have, like I said, you have 30 seconds. This is how I was taught, 30 seconds to engage your audience. You need to get them on your side. I'm a firm believer in getting the women on your side, because if you can make the women laugh in the audience, the men will laugh and the men are going to have a good time, because men are basically taking the women to the audience, to this comedy show that night in the hopes that they're going to get lucky later. That's really what this is all about. Everyone wants to laugh, have a good time, but those dates, those women that are in the crowd, whether it be the bachelorette party or whatever it is, they've come, they want to be entertained. They want to be a part of it. So my goal is, when I grab that microphone, I have panned the audience. I'm now, a lot of times I get to the club an hour early. That's one of the things I do. I always recommend that. Watch who's coming into your shows. Get an idea of who is coming to watch you. Watch them sit down, watch them engage. I stand in the back of the room and I watch how people start having conversations in the club. I try to get an idea. A lot of clubs now, they will play the videos, something funny, even if it's Jackass or, people, wrecking on roller skates or skateboards and, getting racked in the nuts. But you watch the people how they laugh and what they laugh at. It gives you an idea. You start reading that audience. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, okay, what are these people kind of laughing at? So when your intro comes and you grab that mic, I don't care if you're emceeing, featuring, headlining. Once again, 3 is see how this all works in the club. 3 will come up a lot in this when I talk about the rules of 3. But you're watching, you're engaging. By the time as a headliner for myself that I take that mic, I have watched how the MC brought them together, because that's his job. His job is to basically get a feel for that audience, take a couple shots to see what you can get away with. The feature should then come in. And that's such a glory spot, being a feature. Linda, it's a glory spot. You don't have to worry about the checks getting dropped. You don't have to worry about, they've already forgotten the MC. You're just there. You're like, it's like this halo is just over your head for your, your 30 minutes of no worries. Because you know what? They always say that you remember your first and your last joke. People kind of a lot of times remember the first comic, then remember the last. And it sucks that sometimes you get forgotten about in that middle feature spot. But there's nothing better as a feature that when the show's over, those people come up and whisper in your ear, "You're so much better than the headliner. You should have been the headliner." And you watch your head go. You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to headline now." And so I'm going to call that club and tell them I got a solid 45 to 60 minutes, even though I know I got 25 to 30 maybe. But it's like you're here, And so, but when you grab that mic, when you have that mic, you have all these words and everything that's going into your mind and in your head. And it's like, you watch this audience. It's like, okay, how am I going to get them? How am I going to get them in 30 seconds? And you want that first joke to be so solid. I've got to grasp them. And now it's like, but I'm in the MC. I've only got, they're only giving me 5 minutes tonight. I got 5 to 7 minutes. I'm featuring tonight. I was supposed to do a half hour, but now they're telling me 18 because the headliner might need more than 60 minutes. So now it's like, I'm jumbling. I'm like, how am I going to get here? And it's like in my mind, I'm like, I have to grab them. 30 seconds. You should then produce laughter every 15 seconds after. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like that. I was literally, Brian Burgess was kind of running the club back in Kansas City as I was coming up, and he'd watch. Did you have that audience? Did you grab them in 30 seconds? Did you produce laughter every 15 seconds? And that's how you moved up in the club. That's how you got moved up. So that's why if you watch me, I know I talk fast. A lot of people are like, well, you need to slow down. You talk so fast. But I always feel like I got to be this guy, and it's like, I got to, just hit them hard because every 15 seconds is tough. Try that in an hour. See if you can produce laughter every 15 seconds an hour. You can't. It's almost virtually impossible unless you're just a one-line comic. And like Geechee guy, I don't being invaded. Have you ever seen Geechee? That guy can rattle off, and he rattles off quick. Yeah, okay, you're going to get that. But a lot of times you're looking for the premise, the setup, and the punch. Once again, the rules of 3. So here's my premise for my joke. How am I going to set this? And then where's my punch? And a lot of times you also want punches under your breath. I do that a lot. If you notice, you'll punch, but then you come back or even call back to it. Maybe something, for instance, my buddy John Remick, rest in peace. I love this guy, but he used to do this bit in his act where if something wasn't working just the way he wanted, he would just under his breath say, "So I'm stabbing this guy." And you're like, "What?" And it's like, did he just say? And he just go right back into his bit. And I'm like, what? And then he started telling another joke, and then just under his breath, be like, "Blood everywhere," and you're like, now your mind's like, okay, he's over here talking about 3 nuns, and then he just said, "And there's blood everywhere." My mind's going crazy, and you're like, but in your mind, like, what happened to the guy he stabbed? Where's all the blood? And he just and he's just like, and the guy won't die, and it's just like he's telling now a whole nother joke inside his, and it was brilliant. And like I said, John told me when he was, I knew it was the end, but he always said, if you ever want that, take it. So just for the record, I do have permission. I know he's not here now to verify that, but if I ever get in a jam, it's gonna be like, "So I'm stabbing this guy," right? But I feel like, and here I am talking about a tornado effect and lots of words, and I'm being wordy, but I do combine, like I said, this tornado effect with the rules of three. I still to this day try to write 3 jokes a day. I feel like that's important in comedy. Whether they ever go to stage or not, we all have 3 ideas that pop in our head. Linda, I guarantee today, you had to have just to kind of make the 3s work out into your set tonight. You're taking bits or things that you have, and like, how am I going to apply that? And I like that, here's the Marx Brothers, here's this, here's that. You're talking about even the rules of 3 as far as, when you join the military, it's like in my mind, I'm like, okay, so it's either you're going to jail or you're going to the military. You're like, you're a slut or you're an info or whatever. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, there's so many, and now it's like, okay, here's those 3s that you wrote down. And in my mind, I'm like, how far could I take what you just said? So in my mind now, okay, those are 3 simple things. So you have a nympho, a slut, and maybe you're in trouble. All right, whatever. How's the recruiter going to recruit you? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I could take this and be like, okay, so I'm at the recruiter station. The recruiter says, why are you here? You want to be the best. You want to serve your country. Did your parents force you? 3s. No, I'm a slut. I'm a nympho, and it was this or jail. Almost a bait and switch on it. But do you see where I'm going with that? It's like, there's so much you could do with that bit. And now you've taken just a simple idea and have expanded it. But now it's like, okay, so I had all this stuff up here at the top spinning around, and there was my point of my tornado. My point was, boom, here's the 3s, here's the 3s. I'm going to hit them with this. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm that. No, I'm a slut, or find my punch in that, or how I want to, do I want to keep that joke clean? And I talk about that. I am a PG-13 kind of a light R comic, but can I do a G-rated show? Absolutely, I can. Can I do a XXX show? Absolutely, I can, because I'm professional. And you need to learn how to. It's so easy to take a clean joke and make it dirty, but you'll never be able to take a dirty joke and make it clean. It's very, very tough to do that. So in writing, if you are who you are, and I tell people, don't ever, ever sell out on who you are. If your daily language and the way you talk is a fuck you, or then that's you. You should not have to change to be something that you're not on stage. Now, I will say this: can you take the F's out of your set to try to maybe get a better booking or do a corporate gig? Because I guarantee we're going into the holiday season right now. So there's nothing but corporate gigs on the calendars. That's what's popping up. People want you to do their holiday parties. They want you to and unfortunately, everybody's got to be so PC in those different areas that you do need to be writing at a PG-13. PG-13 will get you a corporate gig. They'll let you say shit. They'll let you say damn. They just don't want you to drop the F-bomb. That's how you should write your jokes anyway. I feel like that's how your jokes, especially if I'm featuring or I'm at an MC level, those F-bombs need to be saved for me to headline, because if you drop so many of them in your MC spot or in your feature spot, it discredits what I'm going to say. So now if I drop it has no meaning. And I've done everything in my set to try to find every other word but fuck. You know what I'm saying? And not butt fuck, but fuck. Anyway, you know what I'm trying. And excuse me, maybe I don't know. Are we allowed to say?
Yes, anything goes.
Okay, I'm sure. My point is, so if I am saying the F word on stage, I have tried to find every word but that word. And so therefore, if you as a feature in front of me, or you as an MC, especially as an MC, you should be at a PG level at all costs, because, and definitely stay out of the crowd. I want to say that right now. I'm kind of talking about trimming the fat and the things that you need to do. You as an MC, a lot of times have 7 to 12 minutes. That's usually a good MC spot. Your feature spot is anywhere from that 12 to 30. If you as an MC go in that audience, you go into that crowd and try to do crowd work and cuss and don't get the laugh, and then you say, well, F you audience, or you guys don't know what funny is, or blah, blah, blah. You've now created such a hole for everybody else to have to dig out of it, because now my feature act, you need to just really have that cherry spot and kind of ride it, be setting up a wave for the headliner, has to now dig out of your crap, for one, make the audience hopefully forget all the crap that just came out of your mouth as an MC, So he can't just hit right from the get-go, where I'm talking about that 30 seconds of hitting them and getting them. No, he's doing 30 seconds of digging. And that sucks for anybody. And so I just remember that if you're emceeing, be happy that you've gotten that spot. A lot of times, and back in the day, your headliners were your MCs because they set the tone for the show, and that's how it used to be. And Linda, and you've been around long enough to. I mean, that's how it was. If you look back on like even the TV shows like A Night at the Improv and stuff like that, these were major headliners that were. Rodney Dangerfield was hosting, his own show because he could control how that show was going to go. If you put a guy up that has only been doing comedy for a month and you're like, well, I like this kid, I'm going to make it, let him MC this weekend with a national touring headliner. And this guy's got, 3 minutes of nervousness. And then you want him to rattle off everybody that's coming to the club in the next month and make sure you tip your bartender and your waitress. Oh, and by the way, it's a 2-item minimum tonight because the club has the rules of 3, too. You know what they are? Tip your bartender, your waitstaff, 2-drink minimum, and who's coming up next in the club. That's what your job is. They don't give 2 shits about your jokes. So now you get up on stage and you're nervous. All these words are in your head because you're so new at it that you haven't realized how to get to the tip of that tornado. You haven't realized how to trim the fat. And your mind's thinking, oh God, not only do I'm trying to tell my jokes because I want people to think I'm funny, but now I need to, oh shit, turn off your cell phones, your pagers, if you still have a pager. Anyway, but tip your bar, and then I got to get all this stuff right, and I got to try to do this in 5 to 7 minutes, and it's tough. And so then all of a sudden you're like, it's not working. So you go, oh hey, blue shirt there in the front row, and blue shirt doesn't want to be talked to, and blue shirt knows that he's got a hot wife. You don't need to remind him of it. And yeah, probably as they're walking in, all the guys really, you're addressing something that doesn't need to be addressed, for one. And B, if that gentleman turns on you or that lady doesn't like the compliment, and like I said in the beginning, you have to get the ladies on your side, you are screwed. You're set screwed, and all you've done is ruin it for that feature. And that feature's job, like I said, is to come in there, crush for 30 minutes, and make a wave that is so big that as a headliner, all I got to do is grab my surfboard and ride it for about an hour. That's what should really happen. So in talking, like I said, with this rules of 3s and things like that, and trim the fat, the tornado effect, MCs out there, I want you to have your notebook. I want you to be writing 3 thoughts a day. You need to be writing these down on a piece of paper. And I want you to throw all these words in, and I want you to put it up in the top of the paper. I want you to write your joke out exactly how you think you should tell it. And I want you to put the periods, and I know you'll do it as an MC. You'll even write in pause for laughter. We've all done it, Linda. Don't act like we haven't. We will write a joke and we're like, they're going to laugh here. So I pause for laughter. All right. I want you to then, as you write that joke out, I want you to go back. And this is what I want you to do. If you have 30 words in your joke, I want you to take out 3 of them. And I want you to keep breaking that down to where you eventually have a 30-word joke that is 10 words. I know it sounds crazy. It's just a little challenge. You're probably going to have more. You might have 100. If you have 100, you need to break it down to the 30. You need to keep on taking words out until you get to that. And this is the rules of 3. This is how I'm trying to bring the tornado effect and trimming the fat all together to show you how you should be able to hit. And yes, we may have a longer story. You may want to tell a story about, hey, I was at my grandma's house and, she came to the door without a bra on and I saw it and whatever. Yeah. Okay. There's bits in there that are funny, but if you realize, and once again, if I'm telling this long story, I cannot just go without some kind of a punchline. You've got to be able to have, whether it be under your breath or just, if this is a long drawn out story, 15 seconds, you still need to think about trimming the fat and be like, okay, so my grandma lived next door to me. A lot of times she came to the door in her nightgown. Under your breath, she's got nice tits. Whatever you have to do to say, for me, it's like, but I'm adopted, whatever. It lets you get away with it, but you're also getting that punch in. I don't want to sit there and listen to a long drive, especially this newer generation now. And Linda, I'm sure you've seen that, especially in Vegas, this younger generation now that is these long stories. And all they do is they tell a story. And then they try to end that story with what they think is a punch, but it's not strong enough to cover their 10-minute set they just did of all one story and thinking that's a payoff. It's this new edgy, whatever they want to call it, this put my foot up on the stool in front of me, and it's like, and I get what they're doing, and it's edgy, it's cool, but it's not that entertaining unless I'm in that same culture. But here's the deal: a lot of your crowd, when you get out on the road, especially, and you break away from LA, break away from Vegas, Vegas will spoil you, just like the Comedy Store spoils a lot of people because it's touristy and people come and they pay high dollar to come to those shows. So they're already ready to laugh. What I want you to do is now take that same joke and I want you to go to, Paducah, Kentucky, where, they paid $2 to get in, but that $2 was a can of Skull or, a quarter pack of cigarettes. And they're looking at you like, man, you better make me laugh, boy, pa-ting, and it's like, it's a different thing. So will those jokes and what you're doing carry you through? You're not going to be able to take a long-winded story into these bar nights or these smaller theaters, and it's just not going to work. Especially and where the money's at, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people think your money's on your East West Coast and stuff like that. No, your Bible Belt, you're straight across America, your Midwest, those people will buy tickets to your shows before they pay the rent on their trailer. And I know maybe you don't want to be a blue collar comic, you don't have to be, but what I'm telling you is, if you want work and you want to get paid and you want to sell your merch and that's where you make your money, you need to be getting out from almost Arizona and working your way across right through the Midwest and then heading down towards South. Come into Missouri and start taking it down. That's where your money's at. It just is. I've worked every state. Linda, when I started comedy, I started taking notes of everywhere I'd go. And I'll send it to you. I put together like this booker list and this note and I would take notes. I'd be like, all right, here's who I contacted to get into this club. How easy was it for me to get in this club? I got in this club. I would rate that club an A, B, or C room. I would rate the bar staff. I would rate the wait staff. I would keep track of exactly how much merchandise I sold, the dollar amount I made, to where when I came back in that club, I knew what I needed to come with, because now my goal is to beat what I did last time. So I would take all these notes and I put together this just crazy spreadsheet of notes and how to get into clubs. And as I go back and I look at it, I see where my money is. And my money literally was that stretch across the Midwest and then kind of dropping Missouri, Tennessee, and coming down. Now, am I going to say I haven't made good money in Michigan and Ohio? Yes, that's a different route. It's also a different kind of comedy. You'll notice as you go up, they are more thinkers as you start heading north. You're blue collar, and they almost like they're hard workers. I don't know how else to say this, but it's like, if I've worked in the field all day, or if I'm a mechanic or I'm blue collar, and I decide to come to a club or to a VFW, an American Legion, wherever your show might be at that night, I've worked my ass off all day. I'm tired. I don't want to think. I don't want you to tell me a joke that I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what 4 times 4 is. I don't, I just want you to tell me that, you know what? So I'm teabagging this kid, like, I just want to, oh, I'm supposed to laugh here. It's, I'm not saying dumb down your set, but it's like, you perform to the level you're at. If that makes sense? And I'm not saying that they're stupid. That sounded bad. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I think that when you get into that blue collar kind of comedy, that I think that it is maybe a little bit more lowbrow. It's a little more easy, goofy, slapstick, but it's fun. I personally, I love the fact that I'm an edgy blue collar guy, and I know what I am. They say, once again, rules of 3. About every 3 years, they say you find your voice in comedy. And you do. If I look back over my career and I just look at different things, I would say that every 3 years I have. When I started, it was all military, because that's what I knew. And then I went into this whole kind of Italian kind of Dago look, and I'd wear the black dress shirt button. I'd have my big Gorney and my crucifix hanging. And I had my Kangol hat on. And then it's like, okay, well, that look went for a while. And then I'm like, I went total blue collar. I went plaid shirts. I had the sideburns and the goatee, and I couldn't walk on stage without somebody saying, "Get her done." I'm like, well, Larry already took that. So I'm like, well, hold on, I'll do a parody then. And so I started calling myself Jerry, the disabled guy, instead of Larry, the cable guy. And I'm like, and it's like, so my point is, but it's like, there was a different voice. Well, then when I went to LA, it does, it kind of grows on you. I took my blue collar into LA and I noticed that I could sell it, but my look needed to be more LA. So then all of a sudden you're in t-shirts, you're wearing Chuck Taylors, all of a sudden it's like, it kind of that look. Well, now as I'm getting older and I'm kind of, I like the t-shirt look and stuff like that, but it's like now I'm kind of, you get your own look. I know that my Veterans of Comedy shirt is kind of like my red tie. That's my Rodney Dangerfield. If I perform, you're going to see me in a Veterans of Comedy shirt because that's my brand. I branded that and I want that to be seen everywhere. So anyway, I know I kind of went off a little bit there, Lynn, as far as like getting away from what we're talking about as far as tornado effect and stuff like that. But okay, I want to tell everybody there is an app, and I wanted to mention this to everybody. It's called the Comedy Companion. And if you have, and most people have a smartphone now, you should download the Comedy Companion. It is a great app. It has like a little red bull. You'll see it when you download the app. You can do everything as a comic in this app. You can jot down words. It will help you put it together into a set form. It'll keep track of you. If you're like, you can move it over and say, it's not ready to go in my set yet. So I'm just kind of hold it over here in this folder for a minute. You can come back and keep on working. It is a great, great app to put together your MC set. It'll help you put together your 5 to 7, your 7 to 30. And then once again, I know we all want to make more money, and everybody wants, I want that headliner. I want to be a headliner. I want to do that because you think that, that's where and yes, do you get paid way more than the feature? Yes, you do. But I would tell you from personal experience, don't put yourself out there until you're seriously ready. The comedy club back in Kansas City kept on telling me that you're ready. I wasn't ready. I'll tell you guys a story. I lied my butt off to get in a comedy club in West Virginia with basically 3 to 5 minutes of material. And I lied and said that I was a strong road comic feature. And I got myself booked in a club for 30 minutes a night that I had no business doing, being there a week. It made me have to work the crowd and just kind of riff and come off the top. It was so funny. At the end of the week, the lady hands me my $400. She's like, I can't believe I never heard of you. I'm like, I can't believe you never heard of me either. And I just kind of, I look back on it now and it's like, that pushed me to keep doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I was not ready for that. Now it's almost tough to get me off the stage. Now it's like, I don't want it because it's like, man, I'll go all night now. It's like, but I still feel like, booking and doing those things. And that's another class that we'll probably do one of these times, Len, is I'll show you how to get booked and what to do and how to say it and how to be able to rep yourself, because, a lot of you guys out here don't have managers and agents like I do to help you. So you're doing it on your own, and there's verbiage and there's ways to get bookers to look at you because you're one of thousands. So how are you going to grab that booker's attention? How are you going to get that person on the phone that books that room? How are you going to, look them up through Facebook and get them to acknowledge you, to be friends, to have a reason to want to bring you into their club? It's not, the old days of sending the VHS tape, that, I still work for some bookers that are old school like that. And you go in their office and it's still stacks and stacks of VHS tapes, and you're just like, oh my God, but it's like, they don't watch it, just so you know. They might put it in. Rules of threes, once again, you know how much time you'll get when you send a 15-minute, 30-minute, an hour tape? 3 minutes, guys. They give you 3 minutes. They will watch 3 minutes of your act to see if you're getting consistent laughs. It's just, they do it. And because you know what? They've got thousands of others to watch. Do you think they're really sitting there watching your hour? Do you think that you're that cool that you can take that much time out of a booker's day, that they're going to take an hour of that 8-hour day, their 10-hour day, however many, to watch you? No, they're going to watch for about 3 minutes. And they'd be like, you know what? I like the way that guy looks. I liked his first joke. He got laughs. Let me fast forward here to the end and see if he's got a laugh on his closer. Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. Eject. Hey, this is so-and-so with so-and-so. Hey, Will, are you available? Blah. Okay. That's how, all right. You're lucky if that happens. You know what I did? This is how I got with some of the top bookers in the nation. I was told they like donuts. I was told that they don't leave the office. And so a lot of times they skip lunch. I had other comics tell me this. So what I did is I got in my car and I drove 15 hours to North Carolina, and I bought a box of donuts and I took it to one of the bookers. And then I ended up at lunchtime and I ordered pizza because I knew his wife just had a baby and I knew he was trying, and I ordered him lunch. And you know what I did while I was there? I gave him a choice. You have to give him a choice. Hey, I'm available this week and this week. Which one works best for you? Well, now you know what they have to do? They either have to say, well, that week works better than this week, or neither one of those weeks work. How about this week? That's, you're selling yourself. And if you think you're not, this is a sales job. Your entertainment, call yourself an entertainer. You're a business person. I'm not going to say man and woman. You're a business person. You're selling yourself. You're a salesperson. All right. Every time you pick up the phone and every time you talk to somebody, a sale is being done. Okay. Whether they sell you or you sell them, there's a sale happening. I'm just saying. So you have to learn how to sell yourself. You have to know what you're selling. You have to know who you are. And that's why I say trim the fat, not just in your set and your jokes, but trim the fat as you as a person, how you present yourself. All right. The tornado effect, I'm not just talking about your jokes. I'm talking about with how you communicate in your daily life, in your daily business of getting booked and being a professional stand-up comedian. All of that comes into play. If I'm a busy booker or I'm a manager, I'm an agent, I'm a club owner, do you think that I have time for you to, oh, hey, talk about the weather? Bullshit. No, we want to get to the point. The point is I need a booking. All right. That's the point. I need you to book me. I need you to pay me X amount of dollars, or I need to know what your budget is. Rules of three again. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, I'm coming through this area. My client's coming through this area. However you're doing it, I'm going to be in your area the week of the 9th to the 15th or the week of the 16th, whatever. You were telling them when you're available. I need you to make a choice on one of those weeks that's available for me. Oh, those don't work for you. What do you have available then in the month of, here's my calendar. I know that I'm open in December for 2 weeks. How does December look for you? Make them make a choice for you. Cut out all the bullshit, get to the point. They just want to book you or not book you. So you have to remember that. Okay. They don't care about, they don't care about you unless I'm now personal friends with my bookers and my agents. But at the beginning, they don't, Linda, they don't care about you. They're trying to fill their calendar just like you're trying to fill your calendar. So anyway, all right, enough of that. Back to joke writing. Is anybody in with us right now, Linda?
I don't think anybody's watching, but a lot of my people watch after the fact. No
cool.
chat.
So I hope that what they'll do, I really wish that we could, we could see just how somebody's writing a joke. I love working with people and trying to find punchlines and work their jokes out. But I will say this to your listeners. They can find me. It's William Clifton on Facebook here. But if you guys want to email me, comedianwillc@gmail.com. I have like insomnia. I don't sleep a whole lot, Linda. So I make myself available. I love helping new comics in this business. A lot of people didn't really help me when I was coming up. So I've always thought that I would try to do that as I came up the ranks, that I wanted to give back and be able. So I will respond to emails. I will help you with your joke structure and joke writing, and run your stuff by me if you want to. I'm not stealing your jokes or anything like that. I literally want to help you get better. I think that, especially right now, I think that comedy is needed more now than ever. And there's a lot of ways to get it out there. I know we all want to work in the A clubs, but you know what? Almost every city, every town has a VFW, an American Legion, an Elks Lodge, a Grand Poobah Lodge, whatever they want to call it. There's something in your town, or some Jimbo's Bar and Grill that has a microphone and a stage. Produce your own shows. I will show you how to verbiage, how to find a price. A lot of times people don't know how to ask for what you're worth, and a lot of times you'll take less than what you're worth because out of fear, you think that if you don't, somebody else is going to get that gig. Places, businesses, they respect your confidence as much as you should have it. So if you're talking to, Jim Bob's Bar and Grill, and you're like, you know what, I'd really like to come in there and do a comedy night, and they come back with questions for you as far as, well, what can you bring? Can you put asses in the seat? Are you familiar with this area? Well, maybe you're not from that area. I'm not from Memphis, but you know what? It doesn't take much for me to figure out and get on and find people that are, and you reach out to somebody, comic, hey, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Jim Bob, what is a good night for you? When do you feel like you have the best crowd? Oh, Friday nights are good for you, but you guys normally have bingo that night. And so now you're going to interrupt bingo to have comedy. Do you think the bingo people like that? Hell no, they don't like that because they're used to their bingo. So what's another night? Oh, Thursday night's kind of open, but you still get a pretty decent crowd, but nothing's happening then. Why don't we go for Thursday night? I'll tell you what, do you have a budget, Jim, for entertainment? No? I'll tell you what, how do you feel like your audience would respond to a ticket price? Would they pay $5 at the door? Would they pay $10 at the door? Is this a place that we could charge $20 a ticket? No. You feel like it'd be better for you just to pay outright? Well, Jim, I'm going to tell you this. Free shows, you get what you pay for. So if people come in for free, they don't respect the comedy. They won't respect the show. They've got to be invested in something. So I know you want to just pay me outright, but I'll tell you what, I like that. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to take 75% of what you just offered me, and then we are going to charge at the door. I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you keep that other 25%. I'll take this up for 25%. I want this money to go back to your business. You've already made a number in your head that you wanted to reach anyway, but now you're putting it back on them. Let them think that they're in charge, even though you're in charge 100%. Jim thinks he's in charge. Oh, you're really willing to put 25% back into this business? Absolutely. And you know what? I want you to keep all the food and alcohol too. I'm going to set up a table for my merchandise, but I think no less than $5 should be charged for people coming here. I want people to enjoy this night, but I want them to be respectful of the comedians and the things that are going on here, Jim. And I think that if we're on the same page with that, it's going to be a winning show for everybody. Do you agree or disagree with me? You agree with me, Jim? I appreciate you agreeing with me, Jim, because I'm right. I've done this for a long time, just like you probably had your business for a long time. But you see that conversation, how I kept it just where it needed to be, Linda. And my point was, I'm trying not to be too wordy, but at the same time, I want that person to know that I'm in charge, that I've got control of this. I know what I'm doing, and we're going to charge X amount. That's all I'm saying. When I say tornado effect, when I say trimming the fat and getting to the point, you have to do that in each and everything that you do in this business. If you look nervous, if you have too many words, people will know that you don't know what you're talking about, and you're going to lose respect. And when you lose respect, you lose the gig. But if like I said, I know it's the Italian thing. I talk a lot, Lynn. I can't help it. I talk with my hands and I'm quick and whatever. But it's like, I think people know that, you know what, he does know what he's talking about. I've done this before. I want to make sure that not only is it successful night of comedy for everybody or whatever, but at the same time, I think if they can see me in the beginning like that, even book the deal, then they have to respect the fact that I'm going to bring in these 3 comics that are going to do a good job, especially like with the veterans of comedy, things like that. I want to make sure that it's a solid show from start to finish. So for me, it's like that, like I said, that whole just getting to the point. You have to apply that in your everyday life. And so that's enough of that. Anyway, okay, Linda, I now want to go back to you, if you don't mind, can I?
Nope, go right ahead.
So and I'm glad that I've gotten to see you live for one, because I can see this little ball of energy, and I kind of understand your writing and your writing style from watching you. But then also through these things, it's like, I see where your smile and and this is just me as a people person. Like, I watch how you tell your jokes. I see the enthusiasm that comes. I can tell when you're ready to hit a punch. And believe it or not, and this is what I want to show the people that are watching, you are a rule of 3. And I don't even know if you catch yourself doing it just automatically. But your body language is such a rule of 3. I'm a rule of 3 in my body language as well. When you start to tell a joke, your body, I notice that you sit like this as you start to tell. You're like, hi, I'm Linda, whatever. And then your body language changes as you started to be like, oh, I'm a slut, I'm a this, I'm that. And then you're like, and then you lean in as you hit your punchline. You even do that on stage. I noticed when you're on stage, when you start your premise, you're like this. and then you lean into the audience, and then you hit them with your goofy little giggle and things that you do with your punchline. It's such a rule of three, and that's how you sell. You sell yourself in a rule of three that you probably didn't even realize that you're doing. Did you realize that you do that?
No.
Or you don't know that? You really, and it's awesome to watch, because remember, like when we were in school, when we were younger, they always told you should sit in the front row, and you should always lean your body forward. It lets the teacher know that you're paying attention, that you were there to learn.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're selling your jokes. I can tell that you have probably written out your jokes a lot. I think that you have taken out the fat and trimmed your jokes to the point that, because a lot of times, you're rolling through these sets where you're getting, your 7-minute set, or they're telling you, hey, come in tonight and I want you to do 10. I can tell that you've gotten and probably recorded yourself down to almost perfection on your jokes. And I think that's awesome. I used to do that so much. I had everything written out. But when you lean forward and when you hit your punchline, you are telling them, I am paying attention to you. I want to learn from you. Even though you're the teacher, you're letting that audience know, this is for you. I have something for you. This is going to make you laugh. And it's amazing to watch. So I wanted to compliment you more than anything right now, because I knew you probably didn't know that you were doing the rules of three, but you really do. And it is really cool to watch.
Wow.
I like a lot. And I loved it. I wanted to take a moment just to compliment, because I think a lot of times it's really easy for people to put down, but a lot of times we don't get praised in the comedy and the things that we do. But you are, and I think I've told you this, you're spunky, and I like the spark that you have, because your eyes glow, and it's almost like I can tell that you enjoy comedy, and that you enjoy making people laugh, and it's not just lip service. It gets easy to like dial it in. I'm sure we've heard that. You look at an audience, you're like, oh God, I'm just gonna dial it in. And I used to do a club, and I still do. It's called the Comedy Castle. It's in Royal Oak, Michigan. And before you go on stage, there was a sign. I think it was a Steve Martin quote that said, "Treat 4 people like they're 400." And I think that in all aspects of comedy, you should be thinking about that, because you know what? I've been in rooms where they didn't advertise, and you show up and there's only 4 people there, and you want to just get back in your car and leave, but you're like, you know what? These 4 people just paid $20 to come in and see me perform tonight, and it's not their fault that the other 166 people didn't show up. So I need to give these people the same show that I would give a full room. And I think when you learn to do that and treat comedy like that, not only will it make you a better comic, but I see in your eyes that you treat, like right now, I feel like you're talking to 1,000 people. I felt like you were performing to a full room, even though it may be me and you right now, but it's like, that's the professionalism of comedy. That professionalism will take you farther than you think in this business. And maybe, it's like, you don't see the financial gain or the things that you want, but I'll tell you what, I can guarantee that you're touching lives. I can guarantee that you're changing lives. I can guarantee there's thousands of comics that wish that they had your interviewing ability, your capability of doing it. How you get in touch with these people amazes me. But there are people sitting out there going, man, Linda Smith's got it going on. You know what I'm saying? So know that you have that. Excuse me.
Thank you.
It's impressive. And like I said, I was glad I finally got to see you there in Vegas perform. And I'm glad you came out to the show and just kind of, I think now we've done 2 shows live together, right?
Yes.
But at the same venue. I'd like to see you. I want to get you into just a bigger venue. I want to see how you get you over there with, even at LA Comedy Club or whatever, but or Las Vegas Live. I don't know if you've done any of those shows or whatever, but there are definitely venues that are bigger and better, and we need to get you in front of those audiences. I know some people, it's hard to compliment sometimes, and people don't know how to take compliments. But I try to look for, and I really just study and watch comedy. And I know a lot of comics don't do that, and they really should. I'm a firm believer And I'll even go to the rules of three with a 3 in it. Arrive at a club 30 minutes before your show. I cannot stand people that walk in when it's time to go up. You should be there. You should be watching the audience. You should be looking and interact with the other comics. There's nothing worse as I was coming up is the headliners that think that they're too cool for school and don't want to engage with the people that are going up in front of them. Get an idea of what is performing with you. I've had, that close off the green room to where it's only the feature and the headliner allowed in there. A lot of times they've even asked as a feature that you don't come in, but I'm like, I've never been that guy. I don't want you and all your friends in there, but I want that MC. I want that feature. I want myself in the green room interacting. I get a feel for them and what they're like. I'll ask them flat out, how do you consider yourself a clean, what am I looking at in front of me tonight? You should do that. You should really just get a feel of what your show is going to be like and how it's going to go down. I still, as a headliner, I take my MC and my feature out for a meal. I want to talk to them outside of the comedy club too, and then really get an idea of what they're like. I still do that to this day. I take care of my guys that travel with me. That's just my own personal thing. I feel like it helps just make a better show. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I know that tonight I want to go back with the tornado effect, with the rule of three, remember the fat. I want to say this in closing. As you're starting, write your jokes out. I want to go back to reiterate. I really want you to then go back and try to take words out. You have to be able to visualize that, hey, you know what? That word wasn't needed. Every phone has a voice recorder on it. Write it out because you need to visualize it, but you also need to have a joke come across your lips 3 times. Once again, rules of 3. You have to say that. So write, speak it, record it. That's 1. Take it to an open mic. That's 2. Don't judge it off the first time coming out of your lips. Take that joke and take it back to the open mic a second time. You've now spoken it once into your recorder, once at the club, twice at the club. Now, the second time, did you get better laughs than you got the first time you sat in front of an audience? Did you receive better laughs? No. Take that joke back down, rewrite that joke. I want you to rewrite the joke because you recorded it. All these get recorded, by the way. These 3 sets are all recorded. This is just your first one. These should all be recorded. You should be taking that tape recorder on set as you're coming up. All right. Now, take that 3rd recording. We go back, and I want you to write what you said. I want you to write it on paper, word for word, how you told the joke. Does that compare with how you originally wrote it the first time? Are they the same words? You know what? Are we getting to the point, did I go back to the more words? Or am I back here on the tornado effect, getting to the tip? Am I remembering to take out these unnecessary words? You have to do this. That's the only way that this joke is going to get better. Okay. And eventually, once you get it to where your recordings match up with the words out, that is a sellable joke. Okay. And it's a rule of 3. So that's the tornado effect. Getting to the tip, trimming the fat, rules of 3, guys. I hope you learned something with this tonight. Once again, if you have any questions, if you want to work with me, work on work structure, joke writing, I am definitely slip me an email. If you ever want to go on a one-on-one with me and we do live, I do charge for that, but I don't hurt anybody financially. I want to help you. So, but if you're going to take an hour of my time, I'm sorry, as valuable. So we're going to come up with a price, but I am more than willing to work with any comic out there and help you get your set where you need it to be. With that said, comedianwillsee@gmail.com. My phone number is 816-591-5233. Respect me a little bit. Maybe shoot me a text before you call me. Wife might be asleep or something, but just respect my house a little bit. If I can give you a call back, we'll get right back on the phone and discuss, or we'll set a time that we can actually do a one-on-one with you. So anyway, have a good evening. It's hump day, so I hope your week started off good and it's going to continue getting even better. Hug the ones you love. And until next time, we'll see you.
Thank you, Will C. Woo! Awesome. Talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Love you, Linda. Bye-bye.
Love you back.